Groucho was forever being approached by doting fans. And the following would happen. He would say, "It would mean so much. I'm your second biggest fan, and my wife is your biggest fan. It would mean so much to her if you would go over and insult her." So Groucho would walk over to the lady, not Patricia obviously, and say to the fellow who's on the way over, he'd say, "Sir, if that was my wife, I would have no difficulty coming up with all the insults on my own." Groucho Marx.
All right, in Howard's own words, the most important relationship is the one with yourself. Self-love as defined by the noted and late great psychologist Nathaniel Branden, whose works included Psychology of Self-Esteem and Psychology of Romantic Love. Everything else flows from there. Please join me in welcoming Howard.
Presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. What would Thomas Jefferson think? What would Thomas Jefferson think about what? For those who have not heard, on Thomas Jefferson's natal anniversary, April the 13th, 2015, a new country was announced on the face of the earth. Conceived in liberty. Liberland, Liberland, not Liverland, Liberland. The website is www.liberland.org. And no, this was April the 13th, not April the 1st. This is not, repeat, not an April Fool's Day joke. So in this talk, I shall give you some idea of how this happened, and give you what I think Thomas Jefferson and the Founding Fathers would think, and also give you my reaction to a new country on the face of the earth. The first thing that Thomas Jefferson would ask would be, how is this possible? We live in a world in which every speck of land that exists outside of Antarctica is claimed by at least one country. There are islands in the South China Sea that are claimed up to 7 different countries, attempting to be doting parents on those islands. You may have seen on the web that they're building airstrips, much to the consternation, and look for some brouhaha in the future. Antarctica is accepted because there's a treaty, renewable every 20 years. It is rumored that that treaty was imposed on the nation of the Earth by extra-dimensionals or extraterrestrials. That is a whole topic in itself. Perhaps we'll talk about that one at a later date. You can look it up. 1960 was the successor to International Geophysical Year. Think Richard Byrd. So, how did this happen? The concept is terra nullitus, no man's land. You may be familiar with an adjacent concept or related concept. Nullarbor. The Nullarbor Plain in eastern Western Australia, east of Kalgoorlie. No trees, only spinifex. Alas, our Aussies are not in the audience. I have been on that stretch of rail that goes 326 miles with nary a curve or a hill. It follows the curvature of the earth. It is probably a certain cure for insomnia. And so, after the death of Marshal Joseph Broz Tito, Yugoslavia breaks up into a constituent republic. You have, on the west bank of the Danube, Croatia. On the east bank, Serbia. Nobody claims a 7-square-kilometer island forested. Its only building is a crumbling farmhouse and a gate between it and Croatia. Now, of course, Croatia is saying it's ours, Serbia is saying it's theirs, and it's getting very confused. The Hungarians have not made a claim thus far. And so a group of Czech politicians, 7 gentlemen and 4 ladies, which is a very high percentage of ladies in these things. They tend to be very heavily weighted towards the male gender. On Thomas Jefferson University, at a conference in Europe, announced the new country, conceived in liberty, Liberland, www.liberland.org. This place has a flag, a song, a coat of arms, And let's look at the nitty-gritty. The documents are probably what Thomas Jefferson would write today if he were writing for a new country, or any of the founding fathers. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and property. Slavery is specifically prohibited. You may remember that caused some difficulties about 1860. Indeed, I know a lady from Virginia, you will pardon my Swahili, who said that she was 17 before she realized the terms damn and Yankees were two separate terms because she'd only heard them in close conjunction. She also called it the War of Northern Aggression. So we have this new country, Liberland, conceived in liberty. The currency is Bitcoin, languages are Czech and English, and now the group is going around seeking diplomatic recognition. So let's answer the first half of the question. I believe that Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, George Washington, John Adams, and of course Betsy Ross, without which we would not have our flag, would approve of the new country. And what do I think? I have studied history. If you look at Will and Ariel Durant, and particularly Arnold Toynbee, republics have a lifespan of 200 or 250 years, after which they become dictatorships. If you check the calendar, you'll find the United States of America is getting long in tooth. However, I take heart from the words of Benjamin Franklin, sage of Philadelphia. Quote, "Where liberty lies, there is my country," unquote. It matters not to me whether it is California where I was born. I love this country. Wonderful people, beautiful scenery. Eastern Europe, Mars, go Elon Musk, or the asteroid belt, or some distant star. Where liberty is, there lies my country. Another thing about me personally, my following is a pattern of action I'm intending to break. I see a situation, study it ad nauseum, fail to plan and act, and the opportunity is gone. This time I jumped on it. After knowing for Liberland for only a short time, I joined some 250,000 people thus far who applied for citizenship. Perhaps I could retire there in 15 to 20 years. Start a Toastmaster club. That would make country 122. Negotiate for the Weight Watcher franchise. Certainly, I would benefit from these services. Others would benefit as well. This is a fluid situation. Bureaucratic oversight. Who knows what's going to happen? However, I think, in retrospect and forespect, that you will see in the 21st century the rise of the city-state. I'm making that prediction here. I predicted that about 15 years ago at another Toastmaster Club. I repeat that prediction at this club. Ladies and gentlemen, in this talk, I have given you an unusual sort of introduction. Not only something about myself, something about a new country. A new country on the face of the earth, conceived in liberty, www.liberland.org, Liberland. A flag, a coat of arms, a song, seeking diplomatic recognition, looking for citizenships, looking for money too, as a matter of fact. We'll see what happens. I told you this is because of terra nullitas, relates to the concept of nullabor. I gave you my opinion that I think the founding fathers would be pleased, and Betsy Ross. That the founding documents are very much what Thomas Jefferson would write if you're writing today. I think somewhere Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin are probably having a fine glass of wine and smiling. And I remind you that you're in a republic and its lifespan may be limited. Finally, no matter where it is, California, Nevada, Eastern Europe, Mars, go more Elon Musk, the asteroid belt, or Barnard's star. I leave you with the quotes of the sage of Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin. Where liberty is, there lies my country. Mr. President.